Hello everyone and welcome back to another video where today we're going to talk about Resident Evil 9 with Zeldafan901. It is now, well, I shouldn't say it's now official, but we've got more information on Resident Evil Requiem. Out of nowhere, it feels like. Not really out of nowhere. I think everyone was kind of prepared for Capcom's showcase for this, and it was already confirmed that Resident Evil 9 was going to be shown, but we're here to talk a little bit about Resident Evil 9 after the footage that was just shown. How do you feel about it so far?
Hyped. Very hyped.
Very hyped? Same. I mean,
Yeah, very hyped.
I don't really know how to feel too much because I'm still at that, like, little. I don't know. But I'm a little more excited now after we've seen a little bit more footage. I just finished the video, but like he mentions at the end, we wanted to make it look like a live action movie, which I think is great because the graphics look amazing, and I think it'll maybe be in the REX engine. I'm not sure, but it's I don't know. I'm excited. I mean, do you have any like thoughts on like what was shown? I guess specifically.
Oh yeah, the first person stuff looked probably better than RE7 and 8 combined.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, it kind of looks like. I mean, I think yeah, I do agree with you. I think the graphics for this look a little better than Resident Evil 7 and 8. I do agree. I just at the same time, I mean, I don't know what I mean. I'd really have to look through all this to see what we can talk about here. I think Grace looks amazing. The halls, wherever she's at right now, looks great. It reminds me a lot of the mansion and the RPD at the same time. And I know we're going to come back to that, even though it's like post-apocalyptic looking. So that's going to be interesting. They did mention Leon in here, and the fact talking a little bit about like, oh, we're not gonna, or we tried to figure out a way to fit him into the game, but how are we gonna do it? And so that I'm kind of curious to how that's gonna be. What are you gonna play it in? I guess. So would you play it in first person or third person?
For the Probably the best experience, probably in first person.
I agree with you. I agree. I mean, I'm a more of a first person guy when it comes to Resident Evil, so I am a little more excited to play it in first person. 7 and 8, or Biohazard and Village are like a couple of my favorite Resident Evil games. Yeah, I like Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 1 Remake more than them, but those games are great. And I mean, actually, I think this is a huge step up from Village's third person, first person thing.
Mm.
Because if you know, right, in one of their updates later on, they had like the same day as RE First when that released, and now it's gonna die in a few days from now. They released a gold edition for Resident Evil Village for the first time. I pre-ordered it. I even remember that it included Shadows Arose. I wasn't a big fan of the DLC, but it included a third person, and it was really awkward. Really, really awkward because it felt like a mod that they implemented into the game because it still very much felt like first person. And then now you can play through Resident Evil Village through, a mode which was third person in a very awkward way, in my opinion. I don't think it really fit, but considering that like this is from the ground up, I think doing first person and third person, I think third person looks really good. From what I've seen, it looks really
Hmm.
good. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the running isn't as good as the remakes of the newer games, but it looks really good.
Hmm.
How do you feel about like? I guess. I mean, I'll definitely play them both. But like my first experience is definitely going to be in first person, and I think that is the best experience to go by, if I'm not wrong. I think that's what they said, but I'm not sure.
Right. So like I had the patience to sit through some of the showcase for a video, as I don't usually do videos on big events. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know what? Now would be the time to do a video on this big Capcom spotlight thing they're doing on YouTube.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. I missed out on it because
Of
I was
course, I watched
sleeping.
it. Yeah, of
Yeah, what was that?
course, I watched it all the way up to like RE9 and stopped. I didn't watch the rest after that though, because I didn't want it to be a too long
Was it like the
video.
first thing that showed up, or was it like halfway?
It was like halfway through the thing, it
Mm,
showed up with RE9.
that figures. Yeah. I missed out on it. I think I need to rewatch like the whole thing anyway, to be honest. But we get a little bit more of the monster, and we still don't know anything about this monster, right? Like they didn't say that. I don't know, or I skimmed through it.
I guess it's, I guess it's speculated Americans, like that's Lisa Trevor or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are speculating right now, that it's Lisa Trevor and then she survived and she kind of turned into that kind of form. And I don't really know how to feel about that. And others are saying that it's Alyssa Ashcroft, sorry, the mother of Grace Ashcroft, which I also think is going to be, I think that's a very interesting way. But god dang, these graphics look so good. It'll be shown on the screen, but the
Mhm.
lighting looks amazing. And I actually think, and maybe I'm wrong when this comes out, but I've had a problem. I don't have a problem with it, but Resident Evil 4 remake. I have the controversial opinion of that. Like, it looks really weird in my opinion in terms of like the graphics in like third person. I'd say the same thing for maybe even 2 and 3, even though I think those areas look better with their lighting compared to 4's remake. But like the thing with Village is that you have an example of first person and you also have an example of third person now. But it always kind of looked odd in third person. Like for some reason, the closer you are with the graphics in 7 and 8 in first person specifically, it looks better in my opinion. Like maybe that's just because you see the details easier, but for some reason it always just felt so much better with the lighting and stuff. And I know this is like its own separate area. I don't know where she is right now in this location, but the location looks amazing by the way. It reminds me a lot of the mansion, the castle, Village's castle,
Mhm.
the RPD, whole new location. I'm so glad they're doing this, and I think I'm curious if there's only going to be one stalker enemy. Is it just going to be one stalker enemy? I mean, I'd assume there'd be more monsters. I mean, it's a Resident Evil game. But if they're going to have like a sorry. Going back to my point, I just want to say third person looks amazing with the graphics outside of just first person, which I think is amazing with the lighting and her hair lighting up and everything. It looks so good. But yeah, I don't know who the monster is, but I'm really curious as to who that will be and what else is there other than that. I mean, that can't be the only biohazard in the entire game, you know.
Mhm.
What about the design? How do you feel about the? It's got to be a girl though. Like the monster, it looks like a girl, right?
Let me scan through the footage
Yeah, let me
real
check
quick.
too. There's a couple
I don't
images I
know.
can send too.
Uh, hold on. There's like it's on the Resident Evil channel. I can probably look at that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a couple. Uh, like the first time you see like the thing moving around, it reminded me a lot of Resident Evil 7's mold when it would come out of the walls and stuff.
And pause. I think I see
Hmm.
long hair with the monster.
Yeah, let me look it up too real quick. I can't even find it through because I think that's the the
Let me
cover of the thing. It looks a lot like that too. I think that's what the monster is the cover of the Resident Evil 9 photo, which looks great by the way. I love that cover, but I don't know if that's going to end up being the main. Here's my problem with Resident Evil 9 is that like the one with Grace Ashcroft is like
Mhm.
okay, it looks nice and all. Probably my least favorite image you could have made with it. I mean, I get it, she's the main character and everything, but for a horror game specifically, the one where it shows up at the end and says RE9, that looks amazing. It looks amazing. I wish that was the thumbnail, but it looks great. Let me look up
Mhm.
Resident Evil Requiem.
Let me scan through the footage right now. My thoughts on her design is, well, it's not bad for a game that's coming out next year, at
Mm-hmm.
least. I'm looking at the creator's message from the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just them talking about the game, nothing too interesting.
She has a
Yeah, the rest.
lighter too. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I didn't notice the lighter.
Yeah, she has like a little lighter thing. I don't need to compare
Oh,
everything to Resident Evil,
I
but it
do
reminds
see.
me of Code Veronica. What was that?
I do see the lighter. Actually, I went back at like 2 minutes 45 seconds and I actually see the lighter.
Isn't the only game before this was Code Veronica that done that? Because I don't remember any. No, maybe I think Claire did Claire have it in Resident Evil 2? I don't remember. Not in the remake, but I know she had it in Code Veronica. I don't remember anything after that though.
'Cause I went through Code Veronica and she did have the lighter.
Yeah, the thing's like moving around, like slumping over the monster that I'm looking at right here. It looks pretty freaking crazy. I love it though. Oh my god. Yeah, it's just moving slowly. It's just gonna be the stalker enemy of the whole house or wherever. this is. Oh, well, look, I mean, it's Dust Golem. I don't. I mean, he's the guy that does the leaks and stuff. But he said that it's not the RE1 mansion. I mean, obviously, it's the Road Hills Center, but an obvious callback to the main halls in Resident Evil's history. There's a lot of RE1isms. So it's called the Road Hills Center, which is really interesting. And I love the main center because, again, it's literally just like, the mansion, Resident Evil 2's RPD. I'm sure there's other things I can say, but those are the most iconic ones. Or like the castle from Resident Evil Village, which are not, no, not just those, not just those. The house as well, maybe from Resident Evil 7, kind of. There's like a area, but it's not exactly the same. But it looks great. It looks freaking great.
The game is set about 30 years after the missile strike on Raccoon City.
Oh yeah, yeah. 30 years after. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. So it's going to be 2028 when it takes place, which is going to be about 7 years after Resident Evil Village takes place, and that is 9 years before the ending of Village takes place. So that's going to be really interesting. And I'm curious as to, have you played Resident Evil Village yet, or know anything about it?
It's on my list of things to play right now.
Yeah, I forgot. You got to get that sale, I think. It's a great game. I won't spoil anything for you, but there is a thing at the end. The problem with Resident Evil games is that they have like so many cliffhangers on, like, not cliffhangers necessarily, but they do a thing that something like the MCU seems to do, where something's gonna happen or something in the post credit scene, and then they never get back to it after 12, 13 years later, like Revelations 2, for example. And I really hope that Village doesn't do that, because Village. I mean, it implied something, and I don't want them to skip out on it. And it would only make sense to happen before. It wouldn't only make sense to happen before. I mean, I'd rather have it happen before Shadows of Rose, I guess. But I want them to continue on this stuff just to make it more connected with the rest of the franchise. And I'm so glad that this game specifically is going to have kind of like a branch connected to, Resident Evil The Outbreak games with Alyssa Ashcroft, because she's only present in those, or first present in those games, and only present in those games, aside from her obvious appearance in here and a mention in Resident Evil 7's newspaper. So, I don't know, but I'm very glad that they're doing that, which I hope. I know it's a deleted video. I know you're going to upload it, though, on your channel, about Resident Evil spin-off ports. Those need to happen. So...
Yeah, one last thing I do want to note before I end the video. I hope the best for Resident Evil as a franchise. I do know for a fact that the ports of RE2 and 3 will be coming out. I don't know when, but they'll be coming out sometime.
Yep.
I don't know. Did they ever say anything about it in the spotlight? Because I didn't even watch the whole thing.
The ports, or
the ports. I need to go back, look at the spotlight, and scan through it.
They might have outside of the official game overview. It's very possible. I can look it up too.
Yeah, the whole thing is 41 minutes in time, so I'm just gonna scan through it.
I'm not really sure. It says, the problem is when I look it up online, it says they'll release on July 15th, but I don't really see where. I think that was an assumption that some Redditor make. Again, this is just some AI response, I'm pretty sure. It doesn't say it's an AI response, so it's kind of weird, but or maybe they are. Hold on.
It's like some just Monster Hunter shit. So far, don't see anything too interesting.
Yeah, I don't think we have a confirmation. This thing's just lying to me. They're wrong about it because Twisted Metal 3 and 4 are releasing on July 15th. There is nothing to imply that Resident Evil 2 and 3 also come on that date. Deus Ex, the original, is going to be on June 17th. So I assume Resident Evil 2 and 3 probably will be after July 15th. We might end up getting it in August, which I hope isn't the... Well, I mean, I'm not saying I hope it is. I mean, it's not too far away, but I mean, they haven't said anything, so I hope it's sooner than later. But all we know is really just still is the summer, 2025. So I don't really know. But
well, on that note, we'll probably end the video here.
Yeah, there isn't too much to say other than that Resident Evil 9 is obviously my most anticipated game so far that is coming out as of recent. So glad that it's going to be out only in 8 months. That might sound like it's far away, but it's pretty damn close, and it's about almost well, when 9 comes out, it'll be pretty much 3 years since the last Resident Evil game has released, which is a pretty big gap for Capcom to put up with something like that. So, with that being said, I'm so excited. So glad you're here, sorry, I keep calling you Zelda Nerd. Zeldafan901. I'm sorry, your Discord name's different, but yeah, I'm so excited for Resident Evil 9. I can't wait for the future of the franchise, and yeah, I hope they bring those ports sooner or later, and I hope they port the rest of the series eventually. With that being said, do you have anything else to say?
Not really.
All right, thank you for being here. I'm glad to be on your thing, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.